Hello everyone, Jyoti Mukherjee from Rev Sports, and finally the first day of the World Test Championship, the one that all of us have been waiting for eagerly, is over. Before we get into the match, in hindsight, life is a lot easier. We can always talk about whether India should have batted first, should have played Ashwin, but at the time, if Rohit Sharma looked up in the skies, it was dark, looked down, it was green. So I think it was the right decision, and also the Aussie captain at the toss told Nasser Hussain, the toss presenter, that he would have also fielded first. So I think that was the right decision. I think where India went wrong was that after Shami and Siraj, the next two, the gap was quite a bit. Now often if we see the best teams in the world, the Holding, Marshall, Roberts, Garner, Croft, that type, or even Ambrose and Walsh and everybody else who played at that era, you will not find so much of a gap between your top two bowlers and then your next 3-4. So there was a time when South Africa had people like Donald and Nitini and Klosner and Gallis and Nente Hayward or whoever. So I think Umesh Yadav looked out of touch. He hasn't played for a while. He hasn't played much of IPL cricket. Shardul did the holding job for a seamer. He was the fourth seamer. That was his job. He can bat a bit. That's why he's in the team. Now, obviously, the way the day is panned out, we all feel that Ashwin should be playing. The only problem with not playing Ashwin is on a good wicket, and we've always been told that the better the wicket, the slower the bowling. Now, Jadeja is slightly quicker. He's on the spot. He's a different sort of bowler. On a wicket like this, you want Ashwin in your side if your fast bowlers somehow cannot do the job for you. So that's the reason why you would watch somebody who can toss the ball up in the air. He's got a lot more guile and a lot more up his sleeve than Jadeja does. Jadeja is more of, he just hammer you down. If there's something in the wicket, he'll just exploit that. But on a first day wicket where it just seemed really good for batting once the sun was shining, they missed Ashwin for sure. And they all know that now. So in hindsight, life is a lot easier, as I said earlier. Well, 3 sessions to Australia, I think Travis Head was phenomenal. To be able to come and bat the way he did today. David Warner played a superb innings at the top. At the most difficult time, it was him and Labuschagne who did all the job. Sometimes we say you cook the meal, but you can't eat it. They certainly couldn't. But, Warner looks ready for a big summer with the Ashes coming up. But coming back to Head and Smith, two different players. They're like chalk and cheese, but look at how good the partnership was. Because they realized that, Head realized he has to play some shots. That's the way he plays. He counter-attacks, and that through the bowlers are outside their comfort level. Even Shami and Siraj were now giving boundary balls. They're getting leaking runs. And suddenly the aim of the bowlers of getting a batter out, it changed to now keeping the runs down, and that's when you're one up on the bowlers. Smith, batter like Smith, just doing unorthodox, solid, knows his game, backs himself, and also he took Jadeja apart. That's somebody, when Jadeja came in, Head sort of slowed down a bit, but it was Smith who got after Jadeja, and that's what partnership is. Head did most of the hitting, but the only batter where Head couldn't, only bowler against whom Head couldn't get a lot of runs was Jadeja, so then he took the mantle, and he's batting at 90. Like I said, 3 sessions to Australia. It's a tough day for India, but in Test match you can always come back, even if they can get India. If India can get off to a good start tomorrow, it's a brand new ball they'll have tomorrow morning. Again, how the weather pans out, there's no doubt that India are behind in the game, and it'll take a lot for them to claw their way back. And it's a one-off game. The pressure will be there on them.